So you're building a home, probably because you want more control over crafting your dream space. Well, what can quickly make the process feel out of control is going over budget. You know, that spreadsheet that keeps you up at night, or those high-end items that you know will be perfect, but put you in the red. It's important to know where to save and where to spend when building a house. It's not as much about sacrificing or not building your dream home, it's about knowing where you can save money and still get what you want. Juliana joins us again as our guest and expert. She's going to share industry tips on the best places to splurge versus areas where you can save without sacrifice. Hey Juliana, welcome back.
So glad to be here.
So our viewers are daydreaming about building their dream home. So let's begin with one of the most important rooms in the house, the kitchen.
Absolutely. So this is the heart of the home. So we are going to want to spend a little bit more in this space. We are going to show you some tips where to save, but we definitely want to have this be one of the biggest impact rooms in our house.
Because it's the room that everybody sees. Any guest who walks into your house sees the kitchen.
And it's going to get the most use for sure. Yeah.
All right, where do we start?
So we can start with the cabinets. So cabinets are someplace where you can actually save in terms of the material that you're going to be picking. So we've got lots of choices that are included, like thermofoil or wood. So what's great about thermofoil is it's really come a long way. There's lots of colors, lots of different textures that you can pick from, and it's so easy to clean, so easy to maintain. So it's great for families and those that might be a little bit harder on their kitchens. Whereas wood is still going to be a natural product, so it's going to dent or scratch. So just something to consider when you are making that selection.
It's a place to save if you don't go with wood.
Yeah. Also, you can save on the profile too. So we've got like a shaker style is still very popular, and a lot of cabinetry makers are going to have that as an included option because it's one of the most popular choices.
And I'm guessing you can change colors.
So you can mix and match as well. So you can have like different color upper cabinets versus lowers. You could have different color perimeter versus the island as well. And quite oftentimes, if you're going to be mixing and matching between those included options, there often isn't an extra charge to do that.
Excellent. So you can add a lot of personality just by changing the color.
Absolutely.
And another place who had personality?
Yeah, our hardware. So you can imagine having a white cabinet with a black hardware versus a white cabinet with a gold handle is going to totally change the look of your kitchen. You can get modern pulls, you can get more classic pulls, and it's really going to set the tone. It's kind of like the jewelry for the kitchen. So.
And you can mix and match this as well. You can mix and match color. You can also mix and match knobs or pulls, or what is this? Is this a pull?
This would be a pull. Knobs would be like the small.
And then you also have sort of the cup pull if you wanted it a little bit more traditional.
Yeah, definitely. So lots of choices there. What's great is that if you are going to be upgrading these, there's not really a lot of them, so it's not going to break the bank if you're going to be upgrading just the hardware on your cabinets.
And if you mix and match pulls versus knobs, that's still sort of within a very reasonable budget.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah. One place where you might want to consider spending a little bit of money in terms of the cabinets is on what type of cabinets you have. So I mean a cabinet box versus a drawer. So oftentimes pots and pans drawers are going to be a lot better for storage. What's great if you have a built-in like what we've got here, you can have pots and pans drawers below, so it's going to give you a lot more added storage and just ease of use.
So that's a little bit more money because it's not your typical casing of a cabinet.
Correct, yeah.
And that would be maybe not necessarily an additional pull because you have two here, you'd have two drawer pulls. So it's really just the casing.
Yeah, it's really just a cabinet box versus a drawer that you're upgrading to. So.
And what about stuff like soft close? Is that pricey, or is that worth putting it in the investment?
So it will depend on your builder. Sometimes soft close is included, typically on the doors. It will be a little bit more expensive to add the soft close to the drawers because sometimes they have to do a whole separate drawer system when they do that.
Okay, and what about how high these are? This has a really nice height to it.
So what we've done here is actually what's called a bulkhead. So instead of adding another set of cabinet boxes on top in order to touch the ceiling and give this kind of built-in look, we've done a bulkhead instead. So we bring the ceiling down and then we put a riser and then a crown on top so that we get that built-in look for a lot less money than doing cabinets stacked on top.
So we've talked about cabinets and hardware and drawers. What's next?
So next we can see we've got our backsplash here. So this is a great place for you to spend a little bit more money and upgrade. And the reason why is because it's definitely a focal point in your kitchen. You can see this is where everybody's gonna be looking, is this sight line here. And what's great is that even if you are doing an upgrade, because there's not a lot of material here, we've got relatively small in terms of square footage here. So doing a nice mosaic tile or something like that, at the end of the day, when we're doing not a lot of square footage, it's not going to cost you a lot of money to upgrade.
High impact for a little bit, not a whole bunch of money out.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. Next, we can talk about our countertops. So a lot of builders are doing the quartz countertops. So quartz is a man-made material. What's great is that it's a lot more durable. It doesn't stain like a natural product would. You don't have to seal it, you know, every year or every 6 months.
Low maintenance.
Definitely low maintenance. It's what, you know, everybody's looking for in today's lifestyle. But here is where you might want to consider doing something of an upgrade, because we've got actually quartz that's mimicking marble in this case. And what's nice with quartz that mimics a natural materials, you're going to get a lot more predictability in terms of the color tones and the movement in the stone as well. So another place where you might want to consider doing an upgrade is your kitchen faucet. So again, you can see this is kind of the center of the kitchen here, heart of the home. We want to make sure that we're looking at a nice, beautiful faucet. It's also going to get a lot of wear and tear, and you're going to be looking at it every day. So if there is a faucet that you love, go ahead and spend the money on it.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Another place to spend some money is by doing an undermount sink. So this one is more about function rather than looks, because when we're cleaning up our counters at the end of the day and we're wiping everything down, we don't want to be wiping all those crumbs into that lip of that sink, and then you get that grime and buildup in there. So this is just going to function a lot better for you.
And do this at the beginning, because it's probably a pricey upgrade to do it after the fact, because it's a whole different type of sink.
Yeah, different sink. You'd have a different cutout as well, right? Because if that sink changes size, and it's just much easier to do this upgrade here. It's going to save you a lot in the long run.
So let's summarize. Where are we going to save?
So where we want to save is on our cabinet material, the profile, and the color. And also we're going to get the look for less by doing a bulkhead to make that built-in look instead of stacked upper cabinets.
And where do we get to spend?
We get to spend on our backsplash, our cabinet pulls, countertops, sink, and the faucet.
All right, so now we're in the great room, and we're going to talk about this fireplace. Is it a save or a spend?
So this is where we want to spend a little bit of money, because we want to make sure we add a fireplace into our living rooms. It's definitely the focal point in this space, and there really isn't much else, because you're going to fill it up with your furniture when you move in. So this is definitely somewhere where you want to spend money, whatever finish you end up doing, but it's a nice focal point for the room.
So this could potentially be a costly renovation after the fact.
Absolutely, and especially with this fireplace unit, it's a gas, so you definitely want to just have it in, ready to go right when you move in. Another thing to think about is where you're going to be hanging your TV. Most oftentimes people are going to be hanging their TV right above their fireplace. So what you want to consider putting in is a conduit that runs behind the walls. It's a tube that goes behind the walls. You can connect your TV to where your cable box typically goes, which is on the side of the fireplace here. So that way you can fish your wires through so that you can connect your TV to your receiver box without having any wires hanging down.
So it's a bit of a spend, but it's high functionality.
Totally worth it. It's gonna make move-in days so much smoother, and you're not gonna be giving yourself headache just trying to fish wires through the walls.
Sounds good. And now we're going to talk about where you can save with regards to the flooring throughout the whole main floor.
Yeah, so we've got here, this is our vinyl plank flooring. So typically we're going to have this flooring throughout the entire house. It's going to be really seamless looking, no transition, so because we can also put this into our bathroom spaces, so our half bath on the main floor. It's one of the most durable flooring that you can get right now. It's going to be scratch resistant, water resistant, so it's perfect functioning for today's lifestyle.
So pet friendly.
Yes, absolutely. And with hardwood, like with pets especially, you know, some dogs and cats can scratch the wood and you're gonna have dings and dents. This is gonna look just as beautiful 10 years from now as it does the day that you move in.
And there are plenty of choices and styles and wood grains and all of that to choose from, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So lots of selection, and it's gonna be a great floor for you.
So another place that has high impact, which is a little bit of a spend, is the railing.
Yeah, so typically what would be included here is a stub wall, which is a wall to the same height, but it would be a solid wall here. So you can definitely see how this is gonna open up your line of sight. It's gonna make the home feel more open and airy. You have a lot of more flow coming from main floor up to the second floor. Also, it's gonna add lots of personality. So we've got, you know, this beautiful stained color here. We've got the black detail, and then even these little notches here is a great way to add personality.
Stain can be any color.
Absolutely, you get to pick that. Yeah, or you could have a painted finish here as well.
As we come up the stairwell, we see this beautiful light, which is a way that you can spend but also save.
Definitely. So there's places where we want to spend with lights and there's places where we want to save. So this being a stairwell light, a little bit challenging to install after the fact. So this is somewhere where you would want to spend and get the fixture that you want, that you're going to have for a long time. Other areas like maybe your living room, your bedroom spaces, those are areas where you can save and then you can install lights down the road, and then you can change your personality of your house right when you change your light fixture as well.
Again, this is kind of an area that a lot of people see, so might as well have it be a little bit of a showcase.
Absolutely.
And then when we walk through into the ensuite, we're gonna go from talking about lighting to carpet.
Yeah, so carpet is actually a place where we can save. So there's lots of different choices out there in terms of colors, and lots of carpets have the stain guard capability now as well. So definitely save on your carpet. One place you might want to spend though is on the underlay. So what underlay is, it's a padding that goes underneath the carpet before the carpet goes down. And that's what's going to give you that nice squishy feel underfoot. It's also going to add to the length and the longevity of your carpet's life. So even if you didn't do it on necessarily the whole entire carpet area, one place that's really important to consider is on the staircase, because that's where you're gonna get lots of high traffic up and down, often stepping in the same place over and over again. So it's really important to maybe upgrade the underlay there.
High wear and tear in that spot. So as we're talking about carpet, in the corner of my eye, I'm seeing this very beautiful feature wall, which is a place where you can actually save.
Absolutely. So feature walls are something that the builder is going to be charging extra for, because those painters are going to have to switch paint, or you're paying somebody to do the application. This is something that's very easy to DIY for even the most beginner DIYers, especially now there's so many products out there that are available for you, like peel and stick or vinyl decals, anything that it'll really make a statement when you walk into the room.
So save on the feature wall.
And do it yourself after.
All right, so now we're in the ensuite. Where can we save and where can we spend?
So places that we want to save are going to be on our floor tile. So oftentimes builders are going to already include a 12 by 12 tile here, so really no need to upgrade. Lots of different colors that you can choose from. We also want to save on our quartz countertops up here. So guests aren't seeing this space. It's also going to get a lot of wear and tear. There's lots of different colors that you can choose from that are already included, so just stick with one of those. And then we also want to save on our faucets. So again, guests aren't seeing this space. It's really just more for function. If in the future you decide to change it, it's something that's easy for DIYers as well. Okay. Where we want to spend a little bit of money is on extra storage for our vanity. And you can do that with a cabinet tower, and like we've got here. And another place to spend a little bit of extra, just like we did in the kitchen, is upgrade to that undermount sink. So especially in the bathroom, again, lots of messes to wipe up, so easy to sweep everything into the sink there. And then another thing to consider is lighting. So not the light fixtures themselves, but adding extra light locations. So we don't want to just have the 2 lights over the vanity. We want to also have other areas to light up spaces like our bathtub or our shower spaces.
Especially as you're doing makeup or hair or things of that nature, so you want a little bit more than just that single.
Yeah, you want to have lots of ambient lighting for sure.
Absolutely. We cannot finish this video without talking about the space that some buyers often overlook and put on the back burner, and that's the basement.
Yeah, definitely. So if this falls within your mortgage qualification amount, it's a great place to spend your money, because it's going to future-proof your home. It's going to give you lots of extra living space down there. You're not going to have to save a bunch of money after you've already moved in if you want to finish it down the road. So it just becomes part of your monthly mortgage payment.
And you've already built that trust with your builder. They've helped you make all of those choices, from your light fixtures to your molding to your flooring. So it makes sense to have everything in the home be cohesive.
Absolutely. And then this way, it's also going to be part of the warranty for the rest of the house too.
Fabulous. Of course, spending will be different for each buyer depending on what's important to them. But these items are a great starting point. Knowing what items will likely hold their value versus what may not will help direct your dollars. Ultimately, this home is for you, and if you plan to live in it for years to come, it really comes down to what makes your life easier and function better for your family and lifestyle. Thank you so much for your time and expertise here today, Juliana.
I had so much fun. So make sure that you guys like and subscribe so that you're notified for all the latest videos.
Good. Woo.